Welcome to Just One Thing, where training gym owners get actionable insights to build their dream business. I'm your host, Sumit Seth, and I'm with the legendary Tom Plummer. And over the next 12 minutes or so, we will unpack one thing to help you move forward in your business this week. So let's get started. All right, Tom, welcome back. And this time around, I want to talk to you about retention from a viewpoint of knowing my numbers. I talk to a lot of gym owners and they say, we have clients staying with us forever and we don't have any retention issues. And we're adding 4 or 5 clients a month. And then I'm asking them, well, how many clients do you have now? And like, I have 100 clients. And how long have you been in business? Oh, easily 6-7 years. So I'm like, well, that doesn't add up. You know, you're losing clients, but you're able to give me names like John and Joe and Susie who have been there forever, but you lose sight of the people that stop coming in. So let's break it down. Like, what is the average term, if you will, in the elite training gym environment that I should be shooting for? How do I track it? What are benchmarks?
The pure way to look at this, and this is a lot of work, so obviously no one does this either, but the pure way is that each month I get an old school notebook and I just have tabs in it. So this month in January, I signed up 12 people. I put your names in it. And then next month I add 10 people, and the month after that, 13. And then each month, then I go back to the list. So if I lose somebody, I make a note. So this guy went 5 months and then moved. So I go back to the original guy and put down he lasted 5 months, and I know what month he quit and then why. If I do that for 2 solid years, I find out 2 things. 1, what my loss rates are, and 2, what my real retention rates are. So we have to understand both of those to talk about loss rate, about retention. So starting with loss rates, losses are money I should have collected but didn't for some reason. So if somebody pays me, signs up and says, I'm in, Tom, 12-month contract, let's go, and he disappears in 7 months, that's a loss. I lost 5 months of potential income. Why did I lose him? So loss rates are usually for 3 reasons. 1, the client moves over 25 miles in most markets, where most states require us to cancel them at that time. 2, the client dies. Or 3, for some reason, the client just decides not to pay us, stiffs us, walks away at that point. So I have to go back and I know I'm going to lose at least a point a month out of this. And then you also throw in permanent medical. So I got hurt at work. I got divorced. I can't pay anymore. Well, I'm going to lose a point a month guaranteed on that, no matter what. That's always going to happen. So if I start with 100 clients in January, 12 months from now, at the end of that, I'm only going to have 88 left. But we also tend to lose more because of customer service issues, other secondary issues like that. So safely looking, when I build a business plan, we use 0.88, and I use that in many of the examples of projecting revenue. But if I look at 0.76, I'm losing 2% a month. So I lose one, again, a guy moves 25 miles, permanent medical. He's out of here. Something like that. He's injured or he dies. Well, I know I'm going to lose at least a point a month of those. It's the wild card is the 4th one, is people that just elect not to pay. So I'm still probably going to lose about 2% a month. So if I look at this, and you've got your magic calculator there, I believe. So if I look at this number, so if I start with 100 times point, so I'm going to lose, get down 0.76. So I take that, minus times 0.76, I get 76 clients at the end. And then if I renew 80% of those, which is a good number for a training gym. So going into the 13th month, I've got 100 minus 24 equals 76 times 0.80. What's that number come up to?
61, rounding it up.
Yeah. So that's a good training gym. So this is assuming everybody's on 12-month agreements, which they should be. That's what a real business like a training gym should do. But if you look at this, I start with 100 clients. I'm adjusting down to 60 at the end of the 13th month. And that's a good gym. That's a
That's a
solid
good gym. So I lost 40 people, and that's a good gym.
Yeah. Yeah. The losses could be smaller. So take your calculator again, just to show the contrast. So if I lose a point a month, so at the end of the year, I've got 88 clients times 0.80.
Yep.
And that gets me
1 second point. So 88 clients into 80%, 70.4. So 70.
Okay. Yeah. So that's
10
the
more
other end of the
clients.
range. Yeah. That's the end of the range. So if I'm that much better, so somewhere in there, that's our reality. So back to your original statement, when somebody goes, hey, I've been in business 5 years and I've got all these original clients, you do. But you've got all these clients that just disappeared, that like that because are there exceptions to that rule? Yeah, there's guys. But again, if I only have 30 clients and I'm in a little bitty, 1,200 foot gym somewhere and I get 30, 40 clients and I may lose 3 a year. So I feel like, I'm really an exceptional gym. But when you get up to a real commercial training gym, you're adding 8, 12 new clients a month. Those are the numbers I just gave you are pretty real for that situation. There is a loss that's always going to be built into this. You're going to lose clients. So the point of all this is there is a control factor in this that the owner has. The owner has power to leverage these numbers up or down somewhat. I can't stop people from moving 25 miles away. I can't stop people from dying. But I can make sure that the people that want to stay have a reason to stay. And we talked about in an earlier session, that's the real power of going with the emotional connection, building that bridge, is to keep clients staying longer and paying longer. So when I build a business plan, I go into that 13th month, then I start to see that population. The most amazing thing, but if I'm looking at the 13th month and I start to leverage clients from that point, there is an accumulation where they tend to build. But the weird thing is the 13th month on, I only lose those clients at 3% a year rate, not monthly. So here's the hard thing, Sumit: 12 months, 12 months, 12 months. The 13th month, I have to make a decision to stay or go. And that's where the losses usually incur. That's how we get down to 60 to 70 clients. But once that population stays, whoever's there, they only lose about 3% a year on that client. So that's why you have a guy who goes, yeah, I've got a client that's been with me 10 years. He made the first cut. And then after that, they renew year after year, unless they again die or move. That's a client for life. So that first cutoff point is the magic point where people stay low. So I want to do is make sure everybody's first buying point stays.
Got it. No, these are great numbers. These are great insights. And like you said, we talked a lot about involuntary retention, moving out, dying, medical situations, to voluntary, which is really still in the control of the gym owner, which is repetition fatigue. Like, how do I control the repetition fatigue, essentially? Or provide that support, like you said. So from your viewpoint, though, since you look at so many gyms across the country, Tom, typically, how long, if I had to look at the average length of stay, right, what would that be in a training gym environment for one person? Is it?
Well, that's a good question.
Is it 12?
No, it's better. If you look at it, if you look at a mainstream gym, like a big chain gym or some big box, their average stay is usually only 5 to 7 months. And it's horrible. I mean, if you think, some of them are 4 months. Like gyms like Planet Fitness, because of the cheap rate, people will usually linger a couple extra months before they leave, because I'm going to go back and it's only $10. But even at some point, I've spent $10 times 5 months. I'm not there. I blew $50. I still quit. They just delay it a little. But the numbers in those type of systems are usually much higher than a training gym. So a big mainstream box out there of some national chains probably losing, their average client probably stays 5 to 7 months. Training gyms, we can go 20 months plus,
Wow.
it's amazing. Now, some of the circuit style gyms that are out there, some of those national brands, I hear numbers as quickly as 4 months and they're gone because of repetition fatigue. If I sign up for a place, I'm paying you $150 a month, and then I say I want to come at 6 o'clock tonight, and there's a waiting list, and I'm waiting list in my own gym, and I pay $150 a month to be on a waiting list in my own gym. How long do you think that's going to last? So they, at some point, those clients get burned down and they tend to leave. So that type of gym has a pretty high problem with retention because of repetition fatigue. In this case, in our world, if we do the right things, our clients will stay 20 months on average plus. That means some people are staying much longer and some people obviously bail out a little bit sooner. But I still go back to what I said in one of our earlier workshops. If I lost a client, I can't blame the client because I've got nothing to fix. I always have to look and say, it's me. What did I do? What could I have done better to keep this client? If you adapt that mentality, you will keep more clients over time because you're always proactive instead of it's easy to say, oh, this guy, you have an excuse for every client why they left. Oh, this guy, they weren't real serious, or this guy came in, and his wife wasn't into it. So I knew she was going to quit. Well, how come you didn't get her into it? How come you didn't fix the problem? Well, these guys were good, but they moved a couple miles further away. If they love you, they'll still drive a couple extra miles. What could you have done better? And then what could you have done better? What could you have done better? What could you have done better? You still have to go back and take responsibility for these losses because they are there. So kind of summarizing this segment, losses and non-retention, you calculate them separately, but they're really a derivative. One's a derivative of the other. You have to really kind of look at both of them to understand where your clients go. And so but every gym has to have losses. And when I see new guys doing their first business plans, there's no losses. It's just like, you're going to lose clients. Well, my friend says he's got, 30 clients. They've been with him forever. Yeah, he's trained out of his garage and, that blah. But if you're going to open a real commercial training gym, you're going to have losses, but you can control quite much more of it than you think you can. But the numbers are never going to be as good as you hope they will be.
Got it. Thanks, Tom. I think we should make this as a wrap.